All right, back with Justin. Tell them where you're working. What's up?
Cool. So my name is Justin Hoffman. I'm the commercial product manager at Blackhawk, and so I'm a gear developer. So a lot of times when you see equipment come out of the industry, generally not the person that just designed it soup to nuts, but the person that is generating it, doing the research, developing the gear, working with product testers and testing the gear themselves. Generally, that's a product manager. So that's me and where I'm at. So,
let's talk about the tactical games. Briefly, tell them what that is.
So the tactical games, in my opinion, is the single best way for you to go out and practice your skills. And I say that because, like, some people call it training. It's not technically training. Training is where you go to learn a skill from somebody else and basically learn that new skill. And then practice is what you do after the fact with those skills. So the tactical games is, I think the best way to describe it is just brutal. It's tough. It's difficult. But don't be afraid of it. So essentially, it's a 2-day event.
You're a horrible salesman.
No, it's so when I say brutal, I say that to me and to you as well. I assume that's a term of endearment, because to be challenged when you're learning how to fight and you're learning how to defend yourself, defend your family, to be challenged, that is the point. So if something is brutal when you're going to practice or train, that's a good thing.
True warriors will always seek out voluntary hardship.
Yep. Bingo. You just called me a warrior, so thank you.
It's a path, man, and we're all walking it. Some of us are beginning, some of us are down the road, but it's an honorable, noble path.
Yep.
Okay, let's talk about this thing.
So, Blackhawk really kind of like made its mark initially in tactical nylon 20 years ago. That was what Blackhawk originally started with, and what Blackhawk is really kind of known for now is holsters, namely because of the Serpa CQC that really kind of like got us out there and launched us. But Blackhawk started with tactical nylon, and Blackhawk really hasn't done new tactical nylon development in over a decade. So that's where the Foundation series comes in, and I'd like to first off just humbly admit that this was not my baby. This wasn't my project. Holsters are really more my game, but I absolutely love what's going on here. The Foundation Series system was actually developed by my partner in crime, my cohort, Nick. So, hi, Nick. But I love what Nick did here. So, a lot of times when you look at tactical nylon...
I'm going to interrupt him here. So that was...
shooting a Barrett.
Like 2010. But that's a Blackhawk armor carrier belt, 6004 Blackhawk drop leg.
Yep.
But all that gear, that was the integrated...
the IVS system?
Yeah.
Yep.
That was the best shit ever.
Sure.
I was shutting this picture to put it up, but just me all Black Hawked out.
Shoulder firing a Barrett like a savage. That is awesome. So, anyways, play carrier. So generally with tactical nylon, there's just a huge like left and right paradigm. You have stuff that's on the right that's like really, really expensive and fairly out of touch for a lot of people, including myself. I'm not that type of person that's going to go out and get like a $400 to $500 plate carrier myself, because I've got a wife and young kids, and that's beyond my means. So, and then on the other end of the spectrum, you've got stuff that's really, really cheap, like that, buy it on Amazon, made wherever type of situation, and it's not very thoughtfully designed, and it's not really going to work that well with the body's ergonomics. So enter the Foundation Series Tactical Nylon system. So first off was the material selection and design. A lot of times tactical nylon is made out of one type of nylon material, either 500 denier or 1000 denier nylon. And that just depends on what that is like how closely together is the nylon stitched. So what we did here is we actually took 500 denier and 1000 denier nylon, and we heat laminate it together, and then it's laser cut to shape. And what that does is those two opposing different thread count materials, they increase the tensile strength of the material while reducing the bulk and increasing or also decreasing the weight. So this system is ridiculously weight. Now I'm going to explain, a little bit more about that in a little bit here. So the outer piece and the outer piece of the plate carrier is all that laser cut laminate nylon, and then the inner plate pocket is a softer weight nylon material. That's the part that pushes up against your body. We wanted to make sure that that was going to be lighter weight and also kind of like a 5-way stretch material, so it's going to be nice and comfy, cozy all day long. The shoulder straps are adjustable for different body types. Obviously, that's a standard. But something that's really special about this is our cummerbund design. So a lot of times cummerbunds are a fixed material, a lot of times like a nylon material, and they're designed for mounting gear. That's great, but when you're huffing and puffing and moving and grooving, if you have that plate carrier riding where it needs to be, and if you're wearing it with the appropriate tension that you should be wearing it with, a lot of times if you're really huffing and puffing, that constriction on your chest, it just makes it more difficult to get oxygen.
You can't fully inhale.
And if you are trying to defend yourself, if you are in a fight, you need oxygenated blood. So the standard cummerbund that comes with this thing, it's actually elastic. So this is how you adjust or take it on and off, donning and doffing your gear. You just lift your placard up and you can take your cummerbund, move it over, and latch down, push that down. But the cummerbund itself, again, it's 2-ply elastic. We went with 2-ply elastic just to increase the rigidity and make sure that we could, it holds that front plate down as you're running, moving, and grooving. But that double-ply material, it does stretch with your body, but we also can dual purpose that as a magazine pocket or just a standard gear pocket.
A smoke will fit in there too.
Yep, a smoke, a Baofeng, if you're running a radio, like, again, like James was poking fun at me saying I was a prepper earlier.
No, I wasn't making fun of you. I was saying you are enough of a prepper that makes me feel normal.
So like, one of my favorite things, James, you and I were talking about this earlier. James asked me what my favorite hobby was, and my favorite hobby is to learn things.
That was the nerdiest fucking answer I've ever gotten for that question.
I do. I love to learn things, though. Like, during COVID, I taught myself how to garden, animal husbandry. I got chickens, like raising chickens. It's awesome. I, built a rainwater catchment system off the back of my shed so I could water my garden for free. Hoo-yah for free things, free water. But I'm all about learning new things. But I'm, again, a prepper, and I have Baofeng radios, but I don't just own Baofeng radios. I'm actually a licensed ham radio technician too. So I got that license to make sure that I was legally allowed to practice, so that, having gear is one thing, but gear is only a supplement to skill. That's all it is. So if I just had a Baofeng radio and don't practice with it, that's useless. And actually going out and getting that technician's license taught me a ton. It taught me about radio programming. I can, plug in my Baofeng to my laptop, and I can program all these preset channels with offsets and blah, blah, blah. So I wouldn't have known any of that if I just bought a Baofeng radio off Amazon. So anyways, I digress. So yeah, you can stick a Baofeng radio in there. You can put med gear in there if you're going to carry like a 4-inch ETD or an Israeli wrap or anything like that. It's just a 4-way stretch material that is a multi-purpose utility pouch. You can put stuff there. The cummerbund's adjustable on the back. All you do is you lift up that back flap, and you can pull the cummerbund in on the back to adjust it accordingly.
What sizes do these come in?
When we originally developed the system, we did like a small, medium, and a medium large, but we really quickly decided that's going to confuse the crap out of people. So it's literally medium, large, and extra large, and then we're going to fast follow with a small carrier, just because there's a lot of females that need gear. So we're going to fast follow with a small carrier as well.
The small carrier will also be popular for guys trying to do a minimalist kind of rig.
Yeah.
So you, how are these sized? Like, for instance, in general, most of the time I tell guys, if they wear a size large shirt, they buy a medium carrier, because the carriers are typically oversized. And I tell them that with the warning, they're oversized so they fit over winter fighting gear.
Check. Yep. So essentially, the sizing of a plate carrier generally follows the size of the plate. It's like a a plate is to a plate carrier like a handgun is to a holster. So essentially all the plate carrier is designed to do is primarily designed to carry plates. So that's like the leading reason behind it. So essentially these are sized directly to fit an ESAPI plate. So essentially you're going to look at like an ESAPI plate size and how that pairs up with your body, and then that would be the carrier that you would select. And to aid in that, just because I know that that still may be Greek to some people, just go to our website and look at the sizing chart that we're going to have in place for the plate carrier there. So that's generally the best course of action. So what you may not notice, I actually have out of the corner here, you can see I have what's the bottom corner of a soft armor carrier or soft armor plate. I don't have ESAPIs in my carrier. I actually have HESCO special threat plates, which are swimmer cut in there. And part of the tactical games, again, there's rules. It's a competition, so there's rules. And for dudes, your plate carrier needs to weigh 15 pounds slick. That means take all your junk out of here. Any extra pouches or pockets you might have, it has to weigh 15 pounds slick. And when I essentially put the HESCO special threat plates in there, and I went to go weigh this thing, I went to like the shipping department. I was like, hey dude, can I use the official postal scale? So I weighed my carrier and it was like 12 and change. I'm like, dang it. So I went over to my buddy Don. I was like, hey Don, can I raid your equipment locker and get some soft plates? I was just add some weight. I was like, oh, it'll be a little more comfy and cozy too when I'm at the tactical game. So I put soft plates behind it. And then I was like 14 and change. I'm like, So I actually, in order to make weight for the tactical games, I had to pull out my handy dandy Gorilla tape, and I had to tape washers to the back of my plate so that I can make weight.
You should be able to see the circles.
Yep. Now, real quick, I'm going to say this. I would never, ever recommend doing this for an operational plate carrier. Because what this is,
if you maniac would do that for an operational plate carrier?
This is a grenade on your back. If you get hit in the back, or I have this on my back plate, if you were to get hit, these washers are frag. So again, this is my training plate carrier for the tactical games, and that's why that's there. But that's just an example of like the lengths that I had to go to make this thing make weight. And usually, at least any reasonable dude or girl that I know, most reasonable human beings that I know that have a plate carrier, they're trying their darndest to make it as light as possible. And I had to like fight tooth and nail to make this thing heavy. But anyways, there is that. So the front placard is actually interchangeable. You can pull up on your Velcro or hook and loop there, and then you push in on these side lock buckles, and you can dismount your placard. The placard that I'm running right now is this is your Molly placard with kangaroo insert. I have the triple meg insert here for M4. You can do a double SR25 insert if you want, etc., etc.
What? Oh, if you don't mind. So, yep. AR, SR25. What else?
So AR, SR25 for the inserts, and then we're working on a quadruple pistol caliber carbine. We've been asked by our international sales team to start digging into an AK insert, and I'm going to work on that as well. So right now what's available is basically double M4 and double SR25. What's going to be available very, very soon is the quadruple pistol caliber carbine, and then a few months from now, like depending on when you watch this video, we're going to do an AK insert as well, because I'm an AK dude. Like I own 3 AKs. I absolutely love them.
We're all AK dudes. I wonder about the commercial viability of the AK placard, but no, but the PCC is smart.
Well, it's actually not I'm glad you brought that up. Thank you. It's not an AK placard. All it is an AK insert. So this inserts just hook in there with hook and loop, and then bada bing, bada boom. Or you can have one kangaroo, and then you can get like a they're cheap. I don't remember what the MSRP is for the insert, but it's pretty cheap for an AK. But so. This whole system is super modular. You can take your placard off, and then so you got your side lock buckles here. You could actually run this as a low vis carrier if you wanted to. These side lock buckles are removable. It's utilizes what's called a split bar construction design, and you just find the split.
Removable also means repairable.
Yep.
So if you break that, it means you can fix that in the field yourself.
So exactly, and that's a big deal, especially like if you are into your own personal readiness. I hate using the word prepper. It's a cheesy word.
Well, yeah, no, not my people, but the world made it cheesy.
Yeah,
but it means what it means.
Yeah, it means what it means.
It used to be survivalist.
Exactly.
And they raped that word, and then they changed to prepper. Now they've raped that word.
Yep. So if you're into like personal readiness of any sort, you can get like some spare gear, have some spare pieces on hand, and this is field repairable, like James said. I'm gonna go ahead and put that back in there because I need that.
Yeah, right.
But again, like you can see the ease with which, or the relative ease with which, I'm able to don and doff these buckles. This is field configurable very rapidly. So I'm gonna leave those on. I'm actually gonna grab a different placard. So that first placard I showed you guys, this is our Molly with kangaroo insert. You can get just a flat Molly placard that doesn't have, let's go pull it out.
Yeah, I can't see it.
You can get a flat placard that doesn't have the kangaroo insert if you just have your own mag pouches or your own accoutrements that you want to put on there. There's some good hook and loop. But again, it's not going to have that insert, so that's just the plain flat placard. But one of the coolest placards that we have that I really, really like, this is our first responder placard. This thing is just all kinds of cool. So the way that this works is you take that out and you can insert these buckles right here, click them in, and then you fold. I'll have to put in the insert. Then you pull it down and away you go. But you'll notice that you have some side lock buckles here. I'm going to show you what to do with those in a little bit, but essentially those are removable if you're running your plate carrier. But
what's this pouch? What is this?
Cool. So essentially this has that kangaroo insert. The sound of
that's a big
Velcro.
insert.
Yep. So this has the kangaroo insert just like the flat one did. Just insert your triple mag or double SR25 mag insert in there, hook it in, push it down, and then you're ready with your 5.56 variety party favors. And then it has two pistol magazine pouches up front. Pistol magazine or general purpose. You could throw a flashlight in there. You could throw a tourniquet in there. You could throw a multi-tool in there. It's probably a little small for a Twinkie, but you can give it your best shot. So the front piece here, this the thing that is most immediately distinguishable about the first responder placard is this D-ring. So you can put unit identification on the front here. There's extra hook and loop for that. But if you have a injury, you can grab this D-ring, unhook the hook and loop, and pull straight down.
That's awesome.
And then this is a micro IFAC. So this is not going to hold like your whole blowout kit. You know what I mean? This isn't going to hold all of it. But you could put a 4-inch ETD and a tourniquet in there, or like a 4-inch ETD, maybe a couple of them, and probably some combat gauze. So you can stuff that in there. And then you have some stuff that's incredibly easy to get at very quickly on the front of the plate carrier.
That is very cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. Go ahead and shove that back up in there. Now, if you guys are, let's say you jump on like the Blackhawk website and you want to get this stuff, you want to get your first responder placard, or you want to get like the IFAC kit. Say you want to get the IFAC kit for the belt. We actually thought ahead and we developed an IFAC refill kit. You can get this right on the website, throw it in the cart. Sells for $125. And usually when you get IFAC kits, you can find IFAC kits all over the place. They're either, again, very cheaply made, or they're made with really high quality gear. We partnered with North American Rescue to put this together. I actually worked with a 18 Delta over there that knows his stuff. An 18 Delta is a Special Forces medic. And I bounced ideas off of him. I was like, this is what I kind of want to put in the blowout kit based on my experience. And he's like, okay, that's great, but you know, you're being cheap on this item. The item I was being cheap on, I'll admit, was the gauze. I just had regular gauze in there. I had regular gauze in the kit at first, and he's like, nah, get rid of that regular gauze. You want combat gauze if you're trying to stop bleeding. I'm like, check, I get it. So it's going to come with a nasopharyngeal airway with lube. Depending on your experience, like I don't know, like what kind of variety of medical experience you guys have as far as viewers, but one thing about nasopharyngeal airways, you do not want to shove this thing up someone's nose without lubing it.
You're either going to use that lube or your spit or their blood.
Exactly.
It's going to be one of the three.
But it comes with a packet of sterile lube that you can use, or you can just like spit on it. So it comes with a set of large gloves. This is another thing that 18 Delta mentioned to me, because I originally spec'd out black gloves because they look cool. And he's like, no, dude, like you want blue gloves. I'm like, okay, why? Like I need to know. He's like, well, when you're doing an injury sweep down, going head to toe, like blood doesn't show up on black very well. It's going to show up on blue. So just put blue gloves in there. Trust me. I'm like, Roger that.
Yeah, no, that's good.
I trust you.
That's good info.
So the next thing is probably one of the most important things in this kit is the emergency trauma dressing.
This is the most important thing in the
kit. You're right. This is the most important thing, but this is one of the more important things. So a good quality 4-inch emergency trauma dressing. You can get larger ones, but I wanted to make sure that I kept the whole system somewhat small. So that is in there. So again, proper combat gauze is in there. A hyphen twin chest seal. So some people a lot of times ask, like, well, why would you get a twin? Well, the thing about bullets is they go very fast, they have mass, and usually if they're going to hit you in the chest, there's going to be an in hole and an out hole. And if you have a sucking chest wound, you need to plug both
of them.
So that is why hyphen twin, a twin set. So there's a twin set in there. So when I was in the Navy, like we used Azurman chest seals.
Yeah.
And then what we were trying to do, like, you know, just have a piece of plastic and some duct tape in your gear, and you can use that to patch the other side because they're being cheap and only issuing us like one Azurman chest seal. But so there is other ways around it, but
you can just use duct tape too.
Yeah, you can just use duct tape, but why not just have the proper kit, a set of 2, especially because like it's thin. I mean, that takes up no room. And then it also comes with a bleeding control card. If you don't know how to control blood, you probably need to learn that before you go into harm's way. But there is a bleeding control card there. And like James just pushed into the middle here.
Sorry, I'm a big fan.
No, I was saving it for last. The best for last, or the most important for last. A legit CAT tourniquet, a proper tourniquet. Now, this kit comes with one because you should at least have one tourniquet on your kit.
Yep.
But the correct answer is generally as many as you can carry. A lot of people say one tourniquet for each limb. But this kit comes with at least one. You can, certainly get other extra tourniquets as well, but we wanted to make sure that for the purposes of filling an IFAC, because that's what this kit is called, the IFAC refill kit, for the purpose of filling an IFAC, generally you should have at least one of each of these in there. And there are other items that you probably could and should put in your IFAC, but this is just a basic, simple kit to top off an IFAC. James, what are some other things that you would put in just a standard blowout kit?
So my daughter, the nurse, says if you carry one medical item, it should be a tourniquet. If you carry 2, it should be 2 tourniquets. Well, there's only so much we can do without being an 18 Delta.
Yep.
And when you look at how many people die from wounds to the extremities, that one tourniquet per extremity makes sense,
It's the blood loss in a fight that kills you. People don't just get like shot and they like tip over and die like in the snap of a finger. People die from massive arterial bleeding. So
there were 2,500 deaths in Vietnam that could have been saved with tourniquets.
How many?
2,500. Guys
let that number sink in.
Guys that die from wounds to the arms or legs that a tourniquet would have fixed.
Holy cow! Wow, that's incredible. 2,500. Just again, let that number sink in. So, real quick, I just want to mention the whole kit comes vacuum sealed. Now, the reason behind that is a person can get this kit, top off their IFAC, and everything is already sealed. You know what I mean? Everything is sealed and good to go. Like, this is all sterile and sealed. It's fine, especially everything that has like major contact to your own body fluids is going to be already sealed. The reason why I wanted to make sure that we sealed the kit itself as well is for storage. Again, James mentioned I'm a bit of a survivalist. The intention here is for people to get maybe 1 or 2 of these. They throw one in their medical tote as an extra, so if they go through their items, they can pull out a fresh sealed kit and everything is just like the day it was put in there. And even if this loses vacuum pressure, it's still going to be protected from dust and particulate. Like I live in northeastern North Carolina right now. One thing that I noticed there versus like where I'm originally from, which is South Dakota, is like mildew buildup. Like it builds up on everything.
Yeah, we have this stuff called water here.
Yeah, like yeah, I have to like pressure wash everything outside, and it builds up on my gear too. Like I open up my shed now. Like I have like this antique Swiss backpack that I like to like go camping with, but I don't use that pack all the time. I pull it out and there's freaking mildew all over it. I'm like, oh,
if it's cotton, it's about to be rotten.
Oh wow. That's a good rhyme to remember. So that's why this is vacuum sealed, is because I found mildew on a pack one day. So that's why that's there.
But don't worry if you have it and it's not vacuum packed. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Exactly. So let's see. Did I cover everything on the plate carrier? I believe I did. I'm gonna go ahead and dismount this front placard real quick. So. Again, the foundation system, we designed this to be incredibly modular and lightweight. You have unit identification on the front and back, lightweight, low-profile shoulder straps. And the really nice thing about shoulder straps that aren't overly built up is if and when you have to throw a ruck on top of this other junk that you're running, especially like, again, at the tactical games, I believe it was the last battle of day. Yeah, it was the last battle of day 1 for my shooter group. It was a ruck. I believe it was a 5 mile, or you ran through a shooting evolution, which consisted of like shooting at 120 yards, then like 250 yards, and then like 300 and change. And then you run over the pistol bay. You turn and burn doing your pistol thing. And then you have to run over through a series of obstacles. You have to run an obstacle course, like high wall, low wall. You have to run through a sim shoot house, like climbing over barricades and around barricades in the sim shooting house. And here's the thing that pissed me off. They gave us the option to ground our rifle when you ran through the sim shoot house because you were climbing up and over things and around things. They're like, if you want to ground your rifle, you can. Like, did I ground my rifle?
No.
Hell no, I didn't ground my rifle. I'm taking that thing with me. So like I took it with me, but then you go through all that fun stuff, and then you get to the end of it, and you throw on a 50-pound ruck, and you're going 5 miles, and that was a good time. I started off running, and I zigged when I should have zagged, and then I had to turn around. So my 5-mile ruck was more like a 6-mile ruck, but yay for savagery, right? And then once you finish that ruck, you're done. So my shoulder pads, like since I was wearing my Foundation Series plate carrier system, it was really light, low cut. I was actually able to utilize the shoulder pads of the ruck, and they weren't like flipping over and binding and rubbing on my neck. So just that little thing.
I hadn't thought about that, but that's big.
Yeah, the little things matter. So I got sidetracked. Anyways, so essentially that's like the nuts and bolts about the plate carrier. Something else I'm going to show you real quick is, again, what's the purpose of having a plate carrier, ladies and gents? To carry plates and other gear. Like it's plates and then other gear. But there are times and places to wear plates, and there are times and places to do something else. And that something else is running a chest rig. So our chest rig is made out of the same type of situation. You have that 500 denier and 1000 denier nylon that are heat laminated together and then laser cut for shape. We have laser cut moly in here if you need to put other accoutrements on there, or what would you do right here? I bet I can answer that for you.
On the right side, probably nothing.
on that side.
Yeah, probably camelback and radio cord.
I was going to say, like, you know, you might rubber band a tourniquet right there or something.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So anyways, that's what I would likely do. But why would you run a chest rig? So essentially, if you're doing like something really long range where you have a heavy ruck and you're doing something really long range, a plate carrier is not necessarily what you should be doing. Or if you're in a situation where your primary mission is not to go in a fight, which would be direct action. If your primary mission is to do like let's say long range reconnaissance or something to that nature, that's where a chest rig comes in, because you're still in a situation where you might need to defend yourself, so you need to still have some gear with you, but you're not necessarily going to wear plates. So one thing I'm going to show you how to set this up. So essentially when this ships, there's a strap that's hooked into these buckles. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to unhook that strap, because all that is your waist strap. And the reason why we have the factory hook it into these buckles, it's a quality control step, so that we guarantee that it ships with that waist strap. So that's all, the only reason why it's there. So just unhook those straps right away. So the next thing you're going to do is you're going to size it for your body, throw it over your shoulder, and I'm going to grab this chest rig. So you just grab the straps that hang down from the bottom, and you are going to actually, step one is hook in your placard. Now again, earlier I mentioned that the placard itself has buckles on the sides right out of the package. Those buckles on the sides are for your buckles right here. So you bring these buckles around, clip it in, pull it, bring these buckles around, clip it and pull it to start to size it. And then this other waist strap does the same thing. So basically it has two waist straps that come around your body to help keep it secure under movement. And that will be good enough for government work. So right there, that's about where I would like to carry a chest rig. I don't like to carry it like up in my Adam's apple. I like to have it kind of right over top of that breastbone. And essentially, the primary purpose of this design, why there's buckles on the sides of the placard and not buckles on the sides of the chest rig itself, is because those buckles on the placard itself, it helps to guarantee that weight gets pulled in towards the body. Because if the buckles were mounted directly on the the chest rig itself, there's a chance for this to just pull up if I'm bounding, moving and grooving, doing whatever. So,
it's also a security thing. It's not going to get ripped off.
Exactly. So that's the chest rig itself is very simple. Now, if I needed to move this over to a plate carrier, like I alluded earlier that I was going to mention why on the buckles. So essentially, if I need to, my mission set changes, I'm no longer needing a chest rig. I need the plate carrier now. What I can do is I can just unhook that placard, unhook the buckles. I'm just going to unhook the top buckles, and I'm going to peel that placard right off the chest rig. And these side lock buckles that are hanging off the sides of the plate carrier, those are split bar construction. And what you'd want to do, they're on there. They're fun to get off. So you're going to want to use that split bar design and dismount those buckles, because there is no reason to have these buckles just flopping around in your gear. Because again, I'll ask James this, because you're the perfect person to ask. Why is this a bad thing?
All the reasons.
This is a noise maker. You don't want to be like clicking and clacking and making noise. So when you're running this in the plate carrier configuration, take the side buckles off. And when you're running this in a chest rig configuration, you want to go ahead and put those side buckles back on before you mount it to your chest rig. And they take some doing to get on there, but that's by design, because you want them to be secure.
Let me ask you, I'm totally asking, if you were in a hurry, could you do something like that? I'm just throwing this on you. If it's time to go.
That's brilliant.
Okay.
There's a difference between like what's in the instruction manual and what works hastily. And I would say, yeah, that's going to work hastily. You could probably just fold the buckles under. Make sure you push down really good to get that hook and loop to secure those buckles under. But yes, that would work hastily.
You can tell Chuck that was your idea.
He's gonna watch the video. But yeah, that will work in a pinch, because those buckles, you know, the buckles on the sides of the placard, they do take some doing to get off of there. But if you are going in a very deliberate, pre-planned mission set where, like, you know you're going to run a chest rig, you know, go ahead and take the 5 minutes it's going to take those buckles off, just to make sure that you reduce the chance of making noise when you're downrange. Lastly, as far as the items, because no tactical nylon set is complete without a gun belt, is our gun belt set. So it doesn't come with the inner belt. You have to get the inner belt separate. The reason why we do that is some people already have inner belts. So why include that in there if someone already has an inner belt? But you can get your inner belt separate, and what your inner belt's designed to do is that's essentially your hasty trouser belt. You run that through your trouser loops, and that holds up your pants. And it's got loop on the outside of it.
Soft loop.
Soft loop that mates with the hard hook that is on the inside of the gun belt. So when I was doing reserve police work, the gun belt I was issued had all these different pieces of gear, and there was these like little, you know, snappy thingies.
Keepers.
There was these little snappy thingies, and I was like, what the hell is this for?
Why do I need a snappy thing?
The dudes were like, well, that's your belt keeper. You have to like put that here, and put that here, so it keeps your outer gun belt affixed to your inner trouser belt. I'm like, oh. And then I was like, Velcro. But I didn't invent that application, but that was something that was really important to us when we did our Foundation Series gun belt, was making sure that we made a modern gun belt that utilized the advantages of hook and loop as far as affixing your gun belt to your trouser belt. I have mine set up specifically for the tactical games. In the tactical games, it's all about having your ammunition with you and retaining your magazines. There are some battles where, at least when the tactical games first started, you were required to retain all of your magazines. And that was an easy button because they wanted to reduce, you know, people taking tons and tons of time picking up magazines after a battle.
Yeah, right.
So they told you, like, your time doesn't stop till your magazines are out the deck.
Yeah, right.
And there were people that would have to, like, run back up to the firing line and get their mags. So, even though that's not the way it's currently done all the time anymore, I'd always recommend having a dump pouch with you if you're going to compete in the tactical games. And our dump pouch is really handy in that it folds down, folds out, and usually on a dump pouch, I've never seen a dump pouch that doesn't have some sort of drawstring that helps you like close in the top loop. But most of the dump pouches I've seen, that when you pull on that drawstring, it collapses the entire opening. That's a problem for me,
Right.
because I might actually need something in there. And if it's all closed up, it doesn't help me. But ours, when you pull on that drawstring, all it does is it closes in an interior, you know, there's no better word for this but orifice. Like,
Yeah, no.
it closes an internal piece of fabric that actually lifts up and closes down, so you can still actually you can put something in there, and that lip of material is going to hold the item down, but you can still get in there if you need to and fish your equipment out. So that is our dump pouch. I have a double rifle and 2 double pistol magazines on here because, again, like, I don't need like flashbangs, and like I don't need to carry a radio and all that stuff for the tactical games. Like, there are some people that do, and there are a lot of like actually active duty troops that go and compete at this, and there's a lot of active duty cops that go and compete in this, like SWAT cops. And those cats, typically what I see them do is I typically see them running their work gear.
Good for them.
And hoo-yah for that.
Good for them.
Yes. It's harder on them because they're carrying a lot of extra weight that they don't need to, but good for them because you should train the way you fight.
Yep.
So I'm a pretender right now because I'm not currently, like, not current mil, I'm not current law enforcement, but you know, my stuff is set up straight for competition. But so I have my double magazine pouches here for rifle, and then I have 2 double pistol pouches here, just because, like, you need a lot of ammo. There will be battles where you will expend like 5 pistol mags and 5 rifle mags, and it changes. And you find out just minutes before the battle what you're doing, and then you have to like scurry back to your gear and load your mags accordingly. Then you scurry back to the line, and they say go. So our gun belt itself is constructed of double layer scuba webbing. What scuba webbing is, like if it's not obvious already, scuba webbing is the kind of webbing that a weight belt is constructed of for people that do scuba diving with the lead weights on it. It's just a really rigid, crush resistant material. And we actually double layered that to make sure that this was a good, stable gun belt platform that you can actually hang gear off of. And then the MOLLE adapters, or the MOLLE surface on the outside, is constructed of that same 500 denier and 1000 denier nylon that's, again, heat laminated together and laser cut for shape. But it's low profile and slick. And the reason behind that is, like, let's say you have your gun belt that goes over the top of the belt and then clamps down around the outside. The thicker you make that, the more difficulty you're going to have mounting that holster on that gun belt. So we wanted to keep it, again, low profile enough to mount your gear, but also still rigid, lightweight, low profile, modular, and rigid.
So you a duct tape guy or Gorilla Tape guy?
I'm a Gorilla Tape guy. It's thicker and it's tougher. It's not that duct tape isn't good. Like, duct tape will get the job done, but Gorilla Tape will beat the tar out of it, is my theory. And Gorilla Tape is like tactical and black, so there's that. But so that is our Foundation Series gun belt system. We have a variety of different pouches, whether it be like radio pouches, double pistol pouches, single pistol magazine pouches, 5.56 mag, SR25 magazine pouches. I don't know if I already said radio pouches. Mm-hmm. We have a flashbang pouch. So literally, like, all the party favors you could really kind of need, we're going to have a carrier for it. And the snappy thing about the Foundation Series design is the outer material of it. Basically, it's a wraparound taco design magazine pouch. So again, that laser cut laminate design that gives it the rigid properties it needs. And then the sides of the magazine pouches and all of the other pouches, like our tourniquet pouch, mm-hmm. the side of that material is got that same kind of elastic material, so it gives a little bit of flex. So if you're running a Glock 17 Gen 4 or whatever, and then, like, let's say you also have a 45 caliber double stack, like a Glock 21 or something, you could run your T-Series on here. You could swap out your holster basket, put your Glock 21 holster basket on there, and your magazine pouch, you're not going to have to change out, because this is going to stretch to accommodate that Glock 21 mag. And actually, see if I can find one other toy real quick here.
They can't hear you when you turn around and talk. I'll juggle to wait for you.
No. There's actually, like, to me, one of the single most impressive single pieces of the entire system is our tourniquet pouch. I just want to show that off real quick, because our tourniquet pouch does something kind of unique. So essentially, you pull the top, and you have your compartment to stuff your TQ into, etc. So then, the front of it,
come on here.
The front of it has this material in the front, this elastic material, and what that is, it's a hasty glove pouch. You can stuff the glove in there.
That's cool, man.
Just like that.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's cool. Nice job. Yeah, nice job. That's great. That's excellent.
And then again, laser cut laminate material that goes through the MOLLE. So
nice.
But yeah, that is the Foundation Series tactical nylon system from a 10,000 foot view.
Do you make it in any other color except black?
We launched it in black.
Why? It's not 1990 anymore.
I know.
We're not playing SAS dress up anymore. No, I was a cop in the 90s, and everything was black. It was horrible.
Get you.
It was horrible.
I get you. So we developed this entire system with the commercial end user in mind. That would be me, you, like people that take the defense of themselves and their family seriously. They have gear. They train with gear. We developed this system for them, but we also developed it to be directly compatible with a lot of units like SWAT or other law enforcement officers. We designed the plate carrier to be something that maybe instead of a soft armor carrier that a cop's wearing, like they could wear that, and then instead of like having gear that they have to swap between their, if it's like a small department that they have a patrol role and then SWAT's like a side job, like they don't have to like change out their gear. They could just run their carrier. Maybe they have to just change out their placard real quick, and they kind of like scale up for a little bit more of a direct action mission.
Okay, and so what other colors?
Well, I'm just saying, like, that's why we launched it in black. No, but we're actually going to be fast following with Coyote Tan and Ranger Green and probably some other stuff like multicam. But yeah, it's not just going to be in black.
I wouldn't do Ranger Green. Just do Coyote and multicam.
Okay. You convinced me.
All right, man. What else?
So we talked about pretty much the entire Foundation Series system. I could get into each and every pouch, but a pouch is a pouch. Like we have, rifle pouches, mag pouches,
I think they get the idea.
I just wanted to make sure that I did have an opportunity to touch on the tourniquet pouch because it has a little something special.
We'll show you guys something else. Not a Blackhawk product. This dude's running mag pulls.
I like mag pulls.
That's old school.
So let me explain why on mag pulls real quick. So
you explain why, then I'll explain why.
Okay. The reason why I have these on here is, number one, I like metal mags. I really like metal mags with anti-tilt followers. They're very rigid, very rugged. They last a long time. They're just very, very tough. But a standard metal mag, the back of it, it's not real easy to grip on. And when you are running, where's that other kangaroo? I'll just use this one.
Oh, here.
There we go. So when you're running a magazine that goes into a placard, a properly constructed magazine carrier, in my opinion, that magazine should go all the way in. And especially like if I'm competing in the tactical games, I run my retention bungee. There's a lot of folks out there that, they cut off their retention bungees or whatever. They're like,
you should not do that.
Like, I'm not doing air assault. I don't need that. But let me tell you, when you're going, if you're doing a rope climb, you're, jumping over a barricade, you're doing a low crawl underneath, like whatever. If you lose your magazines, this is life-sustaining equipment.
Let me explain this to my people.
Yep.
When you take the bungees off and then you fall down, your mags fall out.
Yep.
You're talking about doing cool shit. My people just fall over shit.
So essentially, the mag pull, in my opinion, all it does, especially if I have other, actually, let's just do the whole thing. I'll put all the mags in there. Especially if you're fully loaded with all your mags in here, a mag pull just makes it a lot easier to pull one individual mag out, and then having that rubberized texture on the outside of it makes it a lot easier to grip when you're inserting it into the rifle. So that's why I have those on there.
Okay, so all that, yes. These aluminum mags have these tabs, and you drop them on the concrete, they break off. And so back in the day, we recommended these a lot so they wouldn't damage.
It's a safety device.
So now I'm gonna tell you something you might not know because you're a young buck. You have to retain your mags, right? Mm-hmm. I don't teach retaining mags anymore, but let's pretend I did. So I have my new mag. This is in the gun. Mm-hmm. Okay, so work with me. Pretend this is in the gun. Mm-hmm. So I push the button to release it. Click. Insert.
That is snappy.
Huh? Or
I learned something extra today. Not only did I take a training class for earlier in the day.
Or if you don't have, if you're doing this is in the gun. We'll pretend this is in the gun. Fresh bag comes up, pinch, insert.
Yep, that's the way I was trained to L.
Yep.
See, I gotta come to tactical response more often because again,
that's the old shit. I haven't taught that in years, man.
I took a class earlier today, and now I'm getting extra stuff after it. So thanks for that.
All right, just anything else?
No, that's it. Just thanks guys for tuning in.
So every other Friday on the Blackhawk Facebook, he does videos. You can interact with him. Tell him hey, I saw you on your channel. But you really can't talk about other stuff in development I got. But is there anything else from Blackhawk they need to know about?
Sure. So when Blackhawk first started, Blackhawk as a brand, this was prior to me being a part of it. Like, you know, Blackhawk was really moving and grooving in the early 2000s and really like going crazy. And then, you know, development kind of slowed down for a little while. I'm not going to like get into the complete nitty gritty on why, but development on products slowed down for a little while.
Well, the war stopped.
Yeah, there is that. So we've got our product management team that we've kind of like grown and built out. We've got, it's not just me. I'm one of a few product managers. I have my specialties that I focus on. But we have a full product management team, and we have one of the first big products that we launched with was again our T-Series holster system that launched a couple of years ago. And since then, we've just been rapid fire product development, develop, test, like outsourced or external testing, because we can't develop gear in a vacuum. If we develop gear in a vacuum, it's going to fail. We need other opinions, other people to beat the crap out of this stuff to make sure that it's going to do its job. So we are continually developing new gear, and just sit back and relax and enjoy the show because we are not done.
Yeah, a lot of cool stuff. I've been a fan of Blackhawk products for a long time. I was just showing him. I'm showing you guys this before, but this is my teaching bag. I teach out of this every class, and I got this in 2010 at a writers conference. When people read magazines back in the old days, I could write. I had two unique qualities that usually don't coincide. A moderate command of the English language and the ability to type and shoot.
Congratulations.
And so I tell people all the time, I'm one of the few guys that made it from analog to digital.
Yeah, and you know what? Writers' conferences still happen. We actually
I don't get invited anymore by anyone. It's okay though. I love you guys.
We can fix that.
No, I love you guys. You guys are awesome. And shout out to Chuck and Nick and those guys for letting him come and hang out here. Appreciate you guys for that. But otherwise, Blackhawk.com, Facebook Blackhawk every other Friday for videos with him. Blackhawk on YouTube, and that's it, right?
Yeah. And
Instagram.
One thing I do want to make sure I close with is, James, thank you for inviting me out here to come take Fighting Pistol. It's been a blast, and I'm excited for tomorrow, and I'll be back for more.
We'll get you back through in the rifle class and get some good feedback on that thing. But Justin, for Blackhawk, James Yeager with Tactical Response, remind you that your responsibility to be ready for the fight never ends.